You want him? Kuresh.
All of you being here. We are going to ask the ward councillor, Councillor Bongani, to give us a short welcome. We can't enter anybody's house without the person opening the door and welcoming us. So we're going to ask Councillor Bongani to welcome us, and then we'll get into the program. I thank you. Councillor Bongani.
Ngibingelele uSpeaker, ngibingelele uDeputy Speaker, ngibingelele ama MMC, ngibingelele abo chairperson bama committee, ngibingelele ama officials akhona ngaphakathi kwearena. Mangithi arena ngikhulumi ngeOrlando Stadium. Ngikhuluma ngale holo lelisikuli communal hall. Ngibingelele abahlali abakhona la ngaphakathi umsebenzi sizowenza sihlala siwenza every year and ukuzo submita ifiso zabahlali ukuthi umasipala azazi ukuthi sifisa ukuthi senzelwe ini kule ndawo esikuzo. Ngalawo mazwi lanke sengiwashilo ngiyacela ukuthi sonke sikhululeke la eOrlando, akukho kuzosiphazamisa ngoba iOrlando lokuyawina njalo Orlando Pirates. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Yeah, no, as long as you spoke about pirates and not chiefs. The City of Johannesburg wants to welcome you all as residents, but let me also say welcome to the city manager of the City of Johannesburg, Dr. Floyd Brink. Welcome to the Deputy Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, who's also the MMC of Finance, Mayor Loyiso Masuku. Welcome to our MMC of EISD, MMC Squaila. I also want to welcome, we have 5 junior councillors in the house. Welcome to you. We're happy that you are here so that you understand how the IDP works. And welcome to all other officials of the City of Johannesburg. I have spotted the GCFO and all other colleagues here. Residents, I'm going to be short because I want the presentation to happen. You are all here today so that you can deposit your wish list to the executive of the City of Johannesburg. It is for you to tell them what you want, what do you see happening in your wards. We are also going to give you a presentation on our draft rates and tariff policies so that you also understand how you pay your rates and how you pay your tariffs. This is going to go through from April until May. And we are going to do this in every different ward, but we clustered the wards together. We have 18 ward councillors here. which means we have 18 wards that we are representing today and that they are going to speak to today. You're also going to see that you're going to have people that are able to ask questions, which will be 2 per ward, but there's also for you to be able to scan in. There are QR codes that are in the hall where you can scan in your questions. There are also forms where you are able to write on your questions that you have to the executive. So whether it's a verbal question you're asking now, whether it's through the scanned question or the written question, they will all be attended to. So without any, I'm going to ask the Deputy Executive Mayor, Councillor Loyiso Masuku, to come to the stage and to speak to you. Totuga, I hope that the presentation is there. Can we have the presentation on screen so that the residents can see the presentation? You also have hard copies of the presentation, I believe, that was given out to you. I thank you. Madam Deputy Executive Mayor, it is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Sanbonani, ninjani, siyaphila, siyabonga ukuthi niphumile neza kule IDP. Speaker, together with the chairperson Mabuke, chairperson Polo Bosho, ukansela wethu, as well as my colleague MMC Squaila, city manager, and your team, the CFO. Namakhansela amanye akhona. Makhansela nginibonile ngicela niwave umphakathi unibone mamusebe lapho ngiyanibona makhansela lapha emuva. Umphakathi kumele awabona amakhansela attend ama IDP. Ngicela umphakathi unibone, phakamani umphakathi unibone ukuthi ni attenda ama IDP because nithatha umsebenzi kamasipala serious. Ngicela niphakame makhansela. Sibashwabela izandla. Ngoba uba asiyenzi lento izosho ukuthi angisho siya esikhathini esizayo kunesikhathi esizayo kumele niwazi abantu abawalelwayo amalungelo wenu and naba ke niyababona. But on behalf of the executive sifuna ukuqala just to explain what the people's plan is about. It's a plan with the people, for the people, so that we are able to build a Johannesburg that works for everyone. We want a Johannesburg that collaborates with residents, so that residents are able to develop and say to us, this is what we want, this is what we don't want. We want to build trust and accountability. Sikwazi ukuthi sithembaneni, and how we build leyo themba and the trust is our ability to openly engage here. Number 3, the people's plan is about prioritizing basic services. Sifuna ukuthi electricity ibe khona, amanzi abe reliable, aphume impompini, clean water. We want you to be able to have basic services to improve the quality of life. That is the third part about the people's plan. Number 4, delivering what matters most to improve your daily lived experience. Wenzela ukuthi mawuhamba eJohannesburg you feel safe. We transform our city so that we're at the next level of development and deal with immediate challenges together. Take ownership. That is the most important part. Tina, as uhulumene, we have a responsibility to take ownership for providing services to you because you are the communities. Equally, we also need you to assist us where you are consuming services, that you pay for the services that you consume, so that umasipala akhone, so that we are able to do more service delivery. So taking ownership is the part of the municipality, but also taking ownership from umphakathi as well. Taking ownership also includes nisisize where there is vandalism of our infrastructure. You report those kind of activities because labantu abamoshayo are in the community. And we promote accountability by participating in this planning process. And you have done that by being here. Your presence here is dealing with the pillar of building Joburg together, this people's plan, so that it belongs to all of us, because your voice and your priorities become our plan for a better Johannesburg together. So I just want to take you to the slide which gives an indicator of where we are in terms of basic services. It just gives you in percentage form the way where we are in terms of basic services, where we're doing quite well. But economically, umasipala, the economy yethu is struggling. That is why kunenkinga zemisebenzi. That is why kunenkinga zekuthi sibe ne-revenue. Abantu abakhona ukukhokha ngoba i-economy ayihambi kahle. So as we are not doing well there, you can see it's low, critical. And then obviously issues of social development, you can see there, it's also very high and critical. But what is important is that we must be able to appreciate ukuthi there have been some developments. For example, formal dwelling. State South Africa, iyasho ukuthi there is more formal dwelling at Johannesburg. Abantu bayawathola amanzi, abantu electricity bayawuthola, sanitation iyatholakala. Kodwa it still means it's not enough, because there are still interruptions. That's why earlier I spoke about we have a responsibility to provide reliable access to essential services, and we are committed to that. IDP, I think I'm going to just take it back to remind you about the basic planning process. We start with the CBPs, community-based planning, which happens in our communities. Then we have the IDP, which is a 5-year strategy. Then we have the budget, which is a 3-year MTF, and then we have the SDPIP. SDPIP, ngama annual plans where administration. That is where we measure. Angisho thina siyama politician, but ngenga acknowledge city manager no CFO. Those are the administrators who must implement the SDPIP to make sure that izinto enizifunayo emphakathini are implemented, and they are done through this SDPIP, which is the business plans. Plan wama department, specific departments. I'm going to move to an important slide where it indicates ukuthi izinto benizicelile, what you asked for, the key burning issues that you raised. Key burning issues: pedestrian bridge upgrades, the cleaning of open public spaces. You complained about crime. You complained about issue of transparency and access in terms of communication, AMA rehabilitation centers, concerns about expanded social package and the access and the response in terms of AMA applications, AMA opportunities with skills, grass cutting, education facilities, access to health services, human settlements, hostel maintenance, illegal dumping, resurfacing of roads, safety and security. Nikhale kakhulu nge-issue of police visibility because it affects the crime, and there were many concerns that came, requests for satellite police stations and street lights, tourism and culture, and access to Wi-Fi. So these are issues that came out from the CBPs in the region, burning issues. As you can see in the map, region D, Nantia, Ilea, a light pink or purple showing in the map. What did we do? Senzeni. Naso is slide, and I'm going to take you through this kubalulekile so that nibone ukuthi senzeni nizokwazi ukuthi ke ngoku okay Masipala, we hear you, but Tina, we would like you to focus on this for the next financial year. In terms of Joburg water projects, Ward 34, I won't go through, but I will just mention the project and the ward. Angisho in our presentation, so that you can see just the project and the ward. It's the Jabulani Reservoir Rehabilitation Project. A project, we have to be honest with you. It has not started. The contractor is busy with the adjudication of the SMMEs. And then JPC, Stormwater Rehabilitation and Infrastructure Project, Pimville, Ward 9, Ward 22, Zone 9, Ward 22. We have allocated the budget already. The budget is allocated 26 million. Public participation in January, so that this is a introduce a contractor. Ward 40 and Ward 39, we've allocated the budget already for you to be able to replace the Mimotope Bridge. The contractor, the main contractor say appointee. So if you check on the last column, how far are we? The main contractor appointee, ikamalalo nabo silpalilo lapo integrated. Middlelands Ward 45. We have not allocated the budget for the refurbishment of the Ria Vaya and the depot. We are still busy with the estimates, and we have been escalating the matter, but at least it is part of the plan. Ward 37, construction of bulk infrastructure. We've allocated the budget already, 17 million. Phase 1 is oqedwa manje ngo June 2026. The project say kalile, although it is at a slow pace of 38%. Joburg Water Middlelands Ward 43, the approved budget allocated is 72 million. The project igu 12% completion. Naledi Ward 130, we've allocated the budget. The budget is almost complete. We are above 90%. Sinethemba ukuthi izoqedwa before the end of the financial year. Joburg Water, siyasaba neyinkinga, i-contractor icele more money for shuttering and the water drainage. So we are busy trying to see ukuthi siyilungise kanjani, because niyabona ukuthi inkinga yamanzi, we are prioritizing it. If you can look, we are Joburg Water Ward 130, Ward 37, Ward 38, Ward 39, Middlelands Ward 43, Ward 130 again. All of this is because 39 and 41, where we've allocated, and the completion, it's an emergency storm water, as well as in Deep Kloof Ward 26, it's also Joburg Water Project. Then Kliptown Ward 19, it's a JRA project where we've allocated 32 million for ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi si construct indlela ne infrastructure yile ebekhalwa ngayo kakhulu iUnion Road laphaya eKliptown. It needs more money, so we have to allocate imali more. Yonke into idinga imali. That is why we have to then try and reprioritize so that all communities zikhona ukuthola some basic services. Then we've got Pick It Up projects, Ward 24 and Ward 46. We've allocated 28 and 6 million respectively. The project says Galile, all of them are above 32%. The work is in progress, and we completion before the end of the financial year. Then we've got Joshco projects, Ward 24, 53 and 25, as well as human settlement projects, Ward 53, 135, to deal with Extension 11, as well as the social houses in Nancy Field. All of these projects, progress has started. It's 58%, 45%, 53%. Ngoba, it's issues that were raised in the previous IDP, so we've started allocating money to be able to do the work. And then, of course, the issue of, Angisho, you know, there are 3 spheres of government. There's local, provincial, and national. In the previous IDPs as well as imbizo zaka premier, you raised an issue of construction of the high school, the classrooms, 45 classrooms. I-construction seyiqalile in Ward 53. Contractors are currently busy with bricklaying and construction of classrooms. And we can show you the pictures of the progress if you can look at what we are talking about in terms of Latereng Extension 11. That's the picture there. Elias Mutsoledi Road, stormwater, that's the picture there. Bolani Road, to do a dual lane, we've started there. Walter Sisulu Square, we've started there. Sizama ukubonisa ukuthi kukhona esesiqalile ukwenza kuloko ebenukucelile, kodwa we understand that there is still more that we need to do, and we have to find private partnerships, public partnerships, so that we have more money to deliver on more projects for the community. We do have challenges, and as is fihli, we are an honest and a transparent government, and angeke sizifihle le inkinga esinazo. But what is important is to kusho ukuthi also there was an issue of Ruby Park that was raised, and it's part of the issues in Ward 31 where money was allocated, but the money was not enough. 15 million, but it could only accommodate 4 projects. And so what will, because sayithatha kwimali ye-CBP, the issue, but now I was having a conversation with the officials, and councillor, the PR councillor and the ward councillor raised the concern. So what we will do is we will have to find an additional 7 million so that because abakwazi ukukala if the money is that little, then the officials have indicated that in total they need close to 25 million for ukuthi bakhona ukuqhubeka. So the responsibility is ours ukuthi si-ede kuleyo 15 million so that nikhona ukwenza leyo project ingasplitwa to 4 different projects, because the problem became the splitting. The challenges I've indicated, we've got challenges of revenue collection, we've got challenges of dilapidating infrastructure, enforcement of the law. And so we want to start using technology so that we are able to deal with these issues of fighting crime. We want to be able to strengthen our revenue and stop losses. That's why at first in siyanidinga nani nisincede, because ama illegal connections ayasibulala. Athatha kule mali besingabe siyayisebenzisa for ukuthi sikhona ukuletha intuthuko in our communities. So partnerships with the community, partnership with the private sector, government partnerships. By government partnerships, we also mean alignment with province, national, using what we call the district development model, DDM. And that is the only way esizokwazi ukuthi si optimize our revenue and grow the investment. So for an example, we need to modernize our billing system. You don't have to always be going near kuma customer areas. We can start using technology. You can pay your bill the same way you can have internet banking. You pay your bill on the phone. How many of you know about Joburg? Do you know about Joburg? Only 2 people. That's where the problem starts. So it means, because there's no need, you can use Joburg to get statements to pay your 500 or 800 that you pay without going there, but you have to register. So maybe, Speaker, the lesson from today is that we are supposed to have 5 minutes, because to register on Joburg, it takes literally 68 seconds. It's less than 2 minutes. But communities don't know about it. So we must use these IDP sessions to educate communities. While they register at the door, there must be somebody next to them, CFO, and city manager, assisting to say, this is how you register on Joburg, so that ukhona ukuthola statement ne-information uyayithola ku-Joburg. Uyakwazi nokuregister for ESP. You can register for expanded social package on Joburg. But the feedback, it's a reflection ukuthi we are not doing more to educate nina as umphakathi. So it's a reflection on us. That's part of revenue optimization. Masikhuluma nge-modernized billing system, ring-fence services, as well as make sure that we deal with the issue of job creation and the informal economy. We want to fix our core infrastructure. That's our second pillar. So the first pillar is unlocking the finances and growing the economy. In fixed infrastructure is the second pillar. Sikhulumile ngayo. Into abantu abayifunayo, it's water, energy, roads and stormwater, waste and climate resilience, to have proper functional waste to energy initiatives, reduce electricity losses, and faster response when you complain. Pillar number 3, restore safety and the rule of law. Pillar number 3 means we have to get rid of the hijacked buildings. We have to do bylaw enforcement and protect public spaces. Protect public spaces so that abantwana bakhona ukudlala emapark babe free in their areas. More visible policing, CCTV cameras, patrolling. In the slide, sokuqala bengikhulume ngaso about issues you complained about. You said safety, you don't see more police, you want to see more police. We did have a project to recruit 500 JMPD officers and wardens. Unfortunately, there were internal challenges. Kwazomela ukuthi leyo project iqalwe izoqalwa futhi ngoJuly i-advertise for those new 500 JMPD officers. And of course, integrated community system. SAPS must work with JMPD and the Mapanya so that sikwazi ukuthi abantu abogogo nolusha lube safe in the communities. Pillar 4 is to build a smart city. Sisebenzise i-technology to make sure yonke into uyithole at your fingertips, data-driven decisions, and make sure that there's all of that as a more connected, inclusive Joburg using technology. Then we will have a sustainable and a safer city. And I want to emphasize this point about the fact that as communities, you will only be active and participate if you see that we are delivering services. For as long as ningaboni uchincho, nizohlala ni complain. So we have a responsibility to make sure we do that. I spoke earlier about collaboration with other spheres of government. And I want to talk to you about the presidential working group. It's a Johannesburg working group. It's a coordinated support, target impacted, which was announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa to make sure that we deal with one plan for Joburg, and it has priority areas which focus on the issues of delivery that I spoke about: human settlements, electricity, water. So there are different streams. So you have the human settlements, you have cultural institutes, safety and security, clean and safe public spaces, electricity and energy, water and sanitation, and governance and financial sustainability. And all of it ihlangana nalezinto ebenikhale ngazo ekumele sizilungise, what we have to fix. Targeted investment, I'm going to focus on Region D. The targeted investment in Region D, it's housing development, infrastructure upgrades, water, sewer and stormwater, public environment upgrades, ECDs, and gender-based violence centers. There have been concerns about safety yabo mama. So the issue of gender-based violence centers, as well as ECDs for our young people. This slide is very important. Sizocacisa, to explain the budget. The budget we are proposing, and I'm using the word proposing and presenting, it's going to be the same with the tariffs, because it will all depend on what umphakathi says. It may change, the tariffs, the increases may change. So in total, we are looking at approximately 97.1 billion. The green pie, which is 90% of the budget, you are looking at operating, which is 88.2 billion. The purple pie, which is 9.1% of the budget, you are looking at the capital, otherwise known as CAPEX, at 8.9 billion. Yiyo lena imali esizokhona ukuthi siyisebenzise, and the bar graph ibonisa ukuthi imali iallocata kanjani in line with mayoral priorities. So if ninga check the graph le as pagamili, it shows how we allocate the money. Can you see that we are allocating more to infrastructure development and refurbishments? Because that's the concern in the community. Infrastructure, and then we follow with sustainable service delivery. So we are just showing you that graph for understanding. We are also showing you the allocation across the departments. Nizozibonela, that slide, it shows you what is our proposal in the 3-year period. So you can see how much we are proposing per department as allocated in your presentations as well. Ogwethu mphakathi is to make sure that this IDP focuses on you and you have a fair and inclusive opportunity as residents to submit. But also, we prioritize support to undeserving, underserved communities who deserve the service. Underserved communities who deserve the service. And we distribute equitably to all communities. Kungabi nama community athola more than others. All communities must have a fair, equal share of their resources to assist with service delivery. And of course, the People's Plan is shaped by your voices as community members, because we are building a city for everyone to participate, contribute, and build partnerships. The last part, it's the tariffs. Remember, I indicated, Uti, this is a proposal. And as we propose, you have to submit and say, we agree, Masipala, or we don't agree. So on property rates, we are proposing an increase of 3.6. On electricity, an increase of 8.6, and you niyazi there's issues of NERSA, so it's regulated, so we can only make certain submissions. On water, we are proposing 12.5. On sanitation, 11%, and on refuse, 6.2%. Ama tariffs, Speaker is also going to call a specific session ezodila ngawo at length in detail to explain. Because maybe you can see, I'll make an example, you may see a percentage. So you need to understand imina how much for you as a resident. That information is important. But as I said, you can see our proposals. If you look at the base year, 25-26, we didn't increase much because we understand the economy is not doing well. That is why if you look at 25-26, the increase was more. But in 26-27, we are proposing a lesser increase. These tariffs are important, dear community members, because they assist us to have revenue to be able to provide services in the city of Johannesburg. Ngalokho besisho sithi sicela niwa understand in that spirit, but you are welcome to submit where you don't agree and where you want us to reprioritize the need for us to focus on certain areas. But we believe that we looked at how we must then be able to present based on the community-based planning processes that were done to enable you to get, we know we can't deliver everything, but we must try to at least deliver something so that there is service in our communities for the residents of Region D. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Deputy Executive Mayor, who's also currently the acting mayor in the City of Johannesburg. Thank you for setting the record straight and giving to the residents what they asked for before, what we have delivered, and also what they can ask for now. Now I'm going to give over to Veli. Veli is going to present to us the proposed property rates and tariffs and the changes thereof. Thanks, Veli.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would like to start by greeting the leadership of the city, the Deputy Mayor, all the MMCs, councillors, senior management of the City of Johannesburg, and all the residents of Region D. My name is Veli Hlophe. I am from the property branch. I'm going to present to you the slides on the proposed changes in the rates policy and also in the proposed tariffs. Ama-rates langwabeka nge-language understandekayo intela esiyikhokhayo for izindlu zethu nomhlaba esiwu-ownayo. If I go straight to the first slide, City of Johannesburg in a tariff policy which dictates that wonke umuntu kumele atreatwe fairly and equitably. So nasiyenza ama-tariffs as it decide ukuthi ubani onemali ubani ongenamali, but we treat everybody fairly and equitably. Go slide 2. I-picture leni ibonayo kule slide 2, it's all the categories of properties esinazo in the City of Johannesburg. And the slide sibonisa ukuthi each category of property kunama property amangaki, izindlu zingaki, izikolo zingaki, amasonto mangaki. And also what it does, the picture that it gives is that now uhlanganisa ama-value wazo zonke is estimated at 1.5 trillion imali ama-values wawonke ama-properties within the City of Johannesburg. Ku slide 3. Slide 3, we are showing a picture ukuthi njengoba u-Deputy Mayor ekhulumile ukuthi ama-rates akhuphuka nge-3.6%. Sifuna ukubonisa ukuthi ama-residential property azokhuphuka ngemalini compared to manje in the current financial year, ne-business izokhuphuka ngemalini. If I move quickly to the next slide, islide esilandelayo sinibonisa wonke ama-category akhona in the City of Johannesburg nokuthi amaphi la umthetho othi singabakhokhisa ama-rate. To make an example, amasonto, churches that are registered in the name of the church, our khokhi ama-rates, but all other properties pay rates and taxes. So if you look on the extreme right, from your side it will be the left, what we call a rate in a rent. Each property in a value. Nasi calculator ama rates for each and every rent that it's in your value, there's a certain portion that okumele uyikhokhele as tax or intela. So all these proposed increases zilinka back to ilento lena 3.6. This slide number 4. Abahlali baye bakhala ukuthi la eJohannesburg abantu bayazenzela. Bakhi izindlu bayadiliza bayenzani, and the city is doing nothing. So as part of the city property branch, sa realize ukuthi enkantolo ama court cases athatha isikhathi eside. A proposal was put in place for a penalty tariff. Ngicela ukuthi ngibeke icace ukuthi whatever you do on your property, kumele uthole imvume from the City of Johannesburg. Awukwazi ukukhipha ifestere ufaka umnyango wandise ibonda lakho lejarit ungazange uzocela from the City of Johannesburg. Every household in a plan, and that plan is sitting in the City of Johannesburg depository. So if I'm an inspector ayakuthola
community, what is being said is important, and you are going to ask questions later on. So can we listen attentively to the questions, to the presentation, so that when we come back, we are able to ask questions? I thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ihamba kanjena i-process. If the inspectors bayafika ekhayeni lakho and bathola ukuthi khona izinto zenzayo ezingazange zivunyelwe i-City of Johannesburg, bazoku-issue nge-notice, bakucela ukuthi ustope uhambe uyofuna imvume. Bakunika 30 days to do that. If you do not do that, then bazo-issue a letter by issue a finance ukuthi sicela lo muntu nimcharge ama-penalty tariff. Ngicela ukuyibeka icace ukuthi ama-penalty tariff are very steep if it's 12 times a residential tariff. So if you are found to be contravening umthetho wase Johannesburg, that's the penalty you are going to pay. Kule slide, we are talking about ama rebates. City of Johannesburg, even though we are expected to generate revenue, revenue ekumele siyigenerate, we must take into consideration that bakhona labo abangeke bakwazi ukuyikhokhela. Just to make an example, the city yenze a provision for ama pensioners to apply for pensioner rebate and to also apply for social assistance. So islide lesi sikhuluma ngawo wonke ama rebates akhona in the city. Ama PBO, they are also allowed to apply to the city if they want to be rated as public benefit organization or AMA PBOs. So we grant rebates to heritage buildings. Like Orlando, I know there are buildings that will be over 100 years, but all those buildings must follow the process of being registered with the Heritage Council, and once they've done that, then they can apply for heritage rebate. Okay. Here is also the rebates again. I'm just going to the next slide, just to give you a picture of how many rebates do we have as City of Johannesburg. I'll move to the next slide. There are key issues that I need to relate to you. Umlaeza kumele ngudlulise kini ukuthi iCity of Johannesburg ithi wonke umuntu o-applyela i-rebate. It doesn't matter whether it's pension or it's heritage. The City of Johannesburg, your account should be up to date. If your account is not up to date, sicela ukuthi uvakashele ama-office wethu wenze i-arrangement yokuthi uzokhokha kanjani isikweleti sakho. Sithole ukuthi kunenkinga yokuthi abantu bayeza bazoyenza ama-arrangement, bathole ama-rebate, 2 months down the line baya defaulter. We have now put in place a system that once you defaulter, the rebate also falls off. So, njengabahlali base region D, sifuna nisnike your inputs ukuthi how do you see this niyavumelana ne City of Johannesburg, because if the justification to give a rebate is to assist somebody ongakwazi ukukhokha, and this person uyabuya futhi ubuyela back to squelette, then it doesn't take us to the next level. The other point that is important is that izikolo besiziface in, meaning that lesikhathi umthetho uchange ziye zafacwa in so that we cushion the increase that they are facing. So unyaka lo sikuwo wezimali unyaka wokugcina la ama private schools or ama independent schools will be getting that phasing in. From the next financial year, 1st of July, bazopatala a full rate. Also, impact nama public schools. Ama public schools now were affected by the similar changes. Now, city, the phasing in has come to an end. But as a caring city, we are also putting to the public, and we are requesting your comment. Gutiwa, there are schools that are under quintile 1, 2, and 3. Izikolo lezi la kungakhokhwa izikolo fees khona. City of Johannesburg, as part of the government and a caring government, is saying we want to give rebates to these schools. It can't be that government says a non-fee paying school, City of Johannesburg is charging. But we want to do it in an orderly and a legal way. Ukuthi sifuna izimvo zenu ukuthi, because as Sasa, where we now going to be taken to court to say, why did you exclude quintile 5 and quintile 4 and quintile 5? What is also lastly important on this slide is that siyacela ukuthi be aware that umasipala wase Johannesburg uzo implementa a new general valuation role ngey 1st zika July 2027. But from the 1st of July 2026, umasipala ucollecta information. Siyacela ukuthi 90 February 2027, umasipala na release ama notices for public to go and view or inspect evaluation roll. Sicela nithathe serious so that you can go and view your property and check ukuthi one categorize kahle, two i-value le bayi-attachile is correct. Because once evaluation roll is closed, that would mean that also follow another legal process which takes long. In short, that was my message, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Belly. I think you've given hope to the residents, as your surname says. I'm now going to call on the chairpersons. Chair Mabuke is going to deal with the questions, and it will be Chair Mabuke, and then we'll have Chair Mpolobosho after that. Thank you so much.
Sanbonan, Dumelang, Tovela, Khotso, De Masiare, Le Kaiwa Khaitsu. My name is Abraham Mabuke. I'm one of the chair of the committee at our municipality. I'm the chair of petition committee. I'm going to run these sessions of comments, questions, and inputs. Thank you very much, Speaker of Council. Thank you very much, our Deputy Executive Mayor, all the MMCs that are here, our councillors, officials that are here, most importantly, members of or residents of Region D. So ngizocela ukuthi sisebenzisane kahle kule part. Sibe ne-order so that at the end of the day, we achieve what we are here for. The information that we have is that Region D is having 18 wards. 18 wards. Then we are going to allow you to raise your hand and you will be pointed. We are going to allocate each speaker 2 minutes. If you calculate 18 words by 2 speakers, it gives you 36. And each speaker is going to speak for 2 minutes, which goes to 72 minutes. Usho re batho ba bana re tlo ba pointa by 36 o re ba tlo bulela ka mo ba tlo bulela nako e lekanao awara ye tee and also 12 minutes on top. So what we are going to do, we are going to call word by word. Starting by word 22. Re tlo feleletsa ka word 45. So now we are going to start. If you are appointed, we will request you to come to the front. And the moment when you start to speak, you will have to introduce yourself and the word you are coming from. Rautwana gere. Rautwana hantla gere. Okay. There are also forms that officials are going to distribute to you, because we are not going to talk all of us. There are members of the community of residents from Region D2 who are not going to speak in this meeting. So there are forms like this. Officials are going to distribute unto you so that you wrote whatever that you want to write on it. Presentations have been done. So now we are going to request you to speak based on presentations that has been presented here, and also there were budgets that have been mentioned at the presentation. There are projects that have started, some are not yet started. You are going to deposit if you didn't hear something at the presentation that has been done. You are going to be allowed to deposit and whatsoever. We are going to start. Ward 22. Is there anyone from Ward 22 who wants to speak? Okay, wait. Number 1 there. Number 2, the big t-shirt. Can you come to the front, please? Ward 24. Ward 24. There is a gentleman who had the red cap. Yes. And another one. Ward 24. It's only one person. Okay. Ward 25. There is a gentleman wearing a gray cap there. Yes. And number 2 there. Yes. Can you just stand at the queue here? Please. Ward 26. I can see the hand there. Yes. Another hand. Going. We are passing. We are going to start by these 4 wards to raise whatever that they are going to raise, and we will go to others after. Number 1, Ward 22. The mic. Mic.
Sanibonani. Kama ngusiyabonga Mthembu from Ward 22. First, sothanda welcome a presentation from our Deputy Mayor. Mayor, ngikuza ukukhuluma nge-electricity ukuthi uya prioritize electricity. We Ward 22 zone 9. We are in the few days, sizobe sina 4 months without electricity. City Power ifuna ukuimplementa ama-smart card, ama-smart meters, but our problem is the communication from the City Power. That's one. And the program ESP, because our community, they know nothing. All they know is that ukuthi kuzobhadala ugesi, but ukuthi education ESP, ukuthi there are people who qualify for ESP. That's one. Secondly, I want to talk about the project Strata ezagala Ward 22. So I want to know ukuthi Google budget le allocatiwe Babu Jack, because it's only for few parts of Ward 22. And ngibona ngathi anyeke iphele based ngesikhathi. So I want to know what will happen to other blocks lawa awangekho kule budget le.
Your 2 minutes comes to an end. Thank you very much.
My
2 minutes comes to an end.
Oh yes, and the last one, Deputy Mayor. Yes, Deputy Mayor, can you please allocate us the human settlement, because Zone 9 still falls under human settlement, so we cannot get other services from the city. Thank you very much. I'll just leave that one.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Sanibonani. Igama nguSamuel Makakula. Ngiphuma eWard 22, iWard Committee ngu-Infrastructure and Development. Ngizoqala ngayo issue yasePimville Zone 9, which is dire, indaba yestrati. Indaba yestrati is very critical ngoba akuhambeki eZone 9 makunethe imvula. And secondly, a project say now 1 year, 1 month if I'm not mistaken, but I can't reach even na 30%. I can't reach even na 30%. So ihamba nge snail pace as khulumile usiyabonga, because we want the whole area ukuthi ibe na drainage system, because amanzi angenela abantu ezindlini. So that's a very critical issue. Number 2, sicela i-upgrade yesewer system eWard 22. Now when each and every weekend, kumele sigijimele elona eClarkspruit depot. So complainer, so report a issue sewer spillage. Now and then. Because from eBonjo, ePimville ngale phezulu ngaseMusi High. Abahlali balapha akuhambeki isuwa. EPimville zone 9 isuwa. Zone 5 isuwa. So siyacela bas upgrade nje system leyo. And then secondly, extension 11, which is the new area ngase golf course, sicela ukuthi bafake istrati ne storm drain sibe khona. And then sine suggestion yokuthi at least kune police station, kune post office lapha elona ePimville Square. Sicela ukuthi iyuzwe for ilona for as a satellite police station because ubugebengu buningi. Siyacela. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. Hello, Buti? They're saying, is it a post office? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Next speaker.
Mangithanda ukubingelela umuntu la ngaphambili. Igama lami uSindiso Emmanuel Nobanda, Ward 24, Public Safety. Inkinga enginayo mina Ward 24, akukho kwenzeka kumile. So izindlu akuqala 2024 akuzokwakhiwa nini. Second, Ward 24 sine abantu basuke dumping bagcwele ngase outline bagcwele emtswalithi. Okusithathu akunamigaqo. Amanzi ogogo bayanetha bahlala emikhukhwini abamana baphume yonke into kunzima kakhulu kunzima nokuhamba. Okwesi4 amahlathi agcwele awukwazi kunokuhamba akugundanga tshani. Since ukhansela wethu eke sisebenzela kakhulu uzakhele mate so zeke philiso akasekho. So the new councillor khona manje ustakile emtswalithi akho into enzeka nothing. So that's why kuzogcina manje abantu sifuna ukutoyitoya bema housing yonke lento le. So ngizama ukukhuluma nabanye beCity la ngaphandle ngakhuluma abantu bazosinceda but I'm happy ukuthi ngibelana namhlanje ngizozikhulumela mina because even I don't see even now uCouncillor sinayo akekho. So icrime iningi imoto ziyayijekwa emtswalithi abantu bayijekela emtswalithi amatruck abantu bayijekela emtswalithi bahlezi esigangeni lama VW the most more than 20 enzeka emtswalithi amakhisi akho amaningi. So balahlela lapha ehlathini abantu babantu. So baningi abantu amakhisi maningi kakhulu lapha. Akuna maphaki, akuna skolo lapha, akuna foko la ndawo le. Akuna bridge labantu akunethi imvula lokujumpa ebridge ayikho. So abantu sibajambisa kunethi imvula manje kuzisama kumnyama nama patrol akhona akho nokusebenza. So nginelo problem leyo please. Nisincedeni lapho please. Nezindlu zakwe I housing lapha emtswalithi ngasedamini balikhe ngedamini sikrekhile zimanzi. Kuthi bebe plane kanjani housing endihlala ogogo the most lapha. Kuthi ezazindlu bazikhe kanjani endaweni emanzi kanjena and abanye sebeyakhile. Can you please nalapha sicela usizo? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Sanibonani. Mina ngiboni kaMthembu ngihlala ePower. Isicelo sami enginaso yilesi ukuthi bengicela ukuthi uma kukhona abangase basize uKhansela weWard 25 bamsize ngalokhu. Khona izidumbu ezitholakala laphana phambi kweUJ nalaphana mawusuka egethini uyofika kuma towers ezingaziwa ukuthi ngezabo bani. Always amaphoyisa aphika izidumbu laphana kusho ukuthi ihlathi la kubulawa abantu somewhere bazolahlelwa khona. The second thing ilena bengicela ukuthi uma kukhona lo weCity ngathi kanjalo umuntu ophethe electricity thing operator kuleyo office asize bathu bayashona abantu abaphila ngogesi ne khona abantu abangena ugesi khona abanganawo sicela asisize kuloko. Okwesithathu yilokhu uma uhulumeni angakafi sesekhona abasele kwaHulumeni ezinithini sebenzela uHulumeni. Sicela ukuthi ama-office kahulumeni angatholakali enjani uma uthi uyofuna usizo kuthiwa ize offline nama RDP mabanikezwe abantu bangachemi bangabheka ubuso bomuntu ukuthi lo ubani wakwabani
as long as a citizen of South Africa, kumele ukuthi athole equipment in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sanibonani nonke, igama uvuyo wakabafu, ngise what 25, i-portfolio housing. Okay, only 3 things sicela ukuthi nisincede ngazo. I-power park, ukansela okhona currently, OS 3, that means 15 years. That thing yenzakalayo e-power park because kukhona imikhukhu phakathi. Ayafika ama-official asithembisa ukuthi nayo quantum yahamba. Must be a quantum ayina engine. So uzoyaphi ngemoto engana engine. For 15 years, power park no service delivery. Magandaganda basithembisa ukuthi reblocking izoyenziwa. Namanje for 15 years nothing. Joshko project is over 7 years. Change our development. Change our law. Kanti inkinga yini? Sikhathele ukuthembisa uma e-station ubeli train ngeke ifike. Uhlele emotweni hoping ukuthi uze Durban, nothing will happen for years. Kanti yini ngathi bantu? Kwala kuphi? Please anike nisithatheni. Ziningi inkinga esinazo. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Greetings to everyone, all protocol observed. My name is Kabelo Tokwe from Ward 26. I am only going to raise 2 issues, so I am hoping that they will get attention. The issue of Funda Center and Career Center. Speaker, for more than close to 2 decades, those 2 centers, they are not serving currently the purpose that they were originally meant for. Career Center speaks to exactly that. It was supposed to be a career center, a center where you develop and you upskill young people in the township. So we need those centers, at least the city, to focus on them so that they are used for the original purpose they were meant for. You can't have people sleeping there. That was supposed to be a place of learning. So I'm only going to speak about those 2. Career Center, Funda Center. It's a good thing that both the Deputy Mayor and the MMC of Finance is here. So one must speak to the other and say, MMC, speak to the Deputy Mayor. So that at least these things, they get funded from community development. They can just capitalize them with money so that they are able to be renovated and they are used for the original purpose they were meant for. Just because I still have another second. The bulk sewer project that was started initially years back, it has stopped. We don't know the reason why it has stopped. Can they please look into that and see if they can just continue and finish that project? Thank you.
Thank you. We are proceeding. Residents from Ward 27. Anyone? Iwana mme? Itlaka mo mme? Una le abuti ko morao kwa? Yes. Itlaka. Ward 28. Una le ntate le mme ka? Are. Ward 29. Una le abuti wa ye white. Kogo se white. Una le abuti wa kogo se grey. Ward 30. Una le mmeki yo kamo. Le abuti ko morao. Yes. Ward 31. The first round we were utletsi bontate ga hola kere. Re ke re balance. Una le mmeki yo la. Ke yo la, ke mbona. Le mmeki yo ka. Hello, uthataki inkamu. Ke pointile motho wa batho tsika kwa kere. Hello? Re rile 131. Yeah, oh, okay.
Colleagues, can we do this? The first round went beautiful. We called out 2 of each as the hands came up. But also we explained, if you are unable to be taken, you have to form. No, ma'am. Can you please listen? You take the form and then you are able to scan in. So let us allow those that the hands went up first to be recognized. Thank you. The people are sitting at the back where you can take your forms.
Ama officials, sicela ukuthi nisisize lapho. Ungayi umuntu elayinini anangakhonjwanga. Re kopa hore ra kopa mme. Okay, I will order come. Number 1. Representatives from 131, Rikuporilweni Duzifas. All from 131, can you sit down a bit, please? Sit down, from 131, please. Sit down, we know the people that I have appointed. Ushab. Okay, number 1. Number 1, yes.
Dumelang kaofela. Ke dimakatso from Ward 27.
Are mamele. Are mofetsebe.
Dumelang kaofela, lebitso ke dimakatso Hlakotsa from Ward 27. Oh sorry. Dumelang kaofela, ka lebitso ke dimakatso Hlakotsa from Ward 27. Nna ke tlo deposita only 4 issues here, tsa sports. Deep Roof Grounds, Zone 5, Corner Imink, Eben Kayla, number 1. Number 2, Park, Corner Imink and Muntwedi Street. Number 3, Green Door Youth Center, address 17. Sorry?
The mic.
Yeah. Okay.
Start the time, please.
Oh, my issues ki di ground, Deep Roof Ward 27. Kalibitso ke Elizabeth Hlakotsa. Deep Roof Grounds, Zone 5, Corner Imink, Eben Kayla. Recopa Development, Deep Roof Grounds. And then number 2, Park, Corner Imink and Muntwedi Street. Number 3, Green Door Youth Center, address 17070 Rustenburg Street. Number 4, Multi-Purpose Center, address 1282 Eben Kayla Street, Phase 3, Deep Roof Extension. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Second speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Lutendo Sadiki from the IEC. in Ward 27. My question was mainly on the sports grounds, because I'm a young person and those grounds haven't been developed yet, and it's holding us back. Hence why abanye abantwana sebangena kwezinye izinto. My second question is directed to Speaker of Council, Margaret Arnold, asking that since you are Speaker of Council, how many councillors have you held accountable since we see the project of potholes in all regions around Johannesburg has not been complete? However, I'd also like to compliment you for what you did within the community. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Sanbonani, Godfrey Masela from Ward 28 Infrastructure Portfolio. Our concern is our underground water pipes.
Closer.
Oh, yeah. Our concern is our underground water pipes, especially in Eben Kayle's street. They are bursting from house to house, and now it affects the community because when they come and fix, they have to close water for a few hours or maybe for a day. So please, if we can upgrade those water pipes, please. Then the second one is pick it up. Pick it up is no longer consistent. They're causing people now to dump dump illegally, because sometimes they come, sometimes they don't come. Then people after a few days they go and dump. Then that gives us a problem. The third one, it's ESCOM. They promised us that if they put smart meters in our which we agreed, they will end load reduction. But some people are still having load reduction with those smart meters. They're buying electricity now. Thank you very much.
What's your name in full?
Come again?
Your name in full.
Godfrey Masiela from Ward 28.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanbonani, igama lami uNonhlanhla Mazaleni, ngi-ward committee under i-portfolio ye-community development 2. So tina sicela i-assistant ngokwakhiwa kwe-ground between iKhomanani nevula mazibuko. Kune crime eningi lapho and abantu basebenzisa lesa space lesiyana ukudampa izinto. And then 2, kunesinye space futhi eMangwele, ngaseMangwele kunamaje nalapho khona futhi kune crime eningi. So besicela ukuthi mhlambe noma kungayenziwa i-rehabilitation center. We have a high number ye youth esebenzisa ama drugs. And then bese kuba khona futhi esinye open space ngase Evukani crash, lapho babiza ukuthi kuse spacing kune high number ye crime, lapho kunabantu abahlala lapho abasebenzisa ama drugs baze bakha nomkhukhu lapho, and like there's drug dealings lapho, and during the day nje noma udlula uyabona abantu beyihlaba. And then 3, besicela nokuthi iCity ipartner nama NGO, because i-social development mayivalile thina siyaqhubeka siyasebenza. Sicela ukuthi nama EPW programs aphiwe kakhulu nama NPO, because sibona kaningi izinto zinikezwa abantu kwama politician or ama comrades. So besicela uCity apartner kakhulu nama NGO. And then futhi sicela uCity azame nokuthi afake ama pamphlets especially kuma clinics afundisa mhlambe ngezinto ze-HIV. And siyabona uCity ngathi usemuva kakhulu. Last year bekune launch ye 1.1 million, and then ne U equals to U, but still uCity akekho involved, and uye beka launch lokho. Ngiyabonga. What 28?
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Abdul Latif Mudia from Ward 29. We have a historical challenge within our ward, which is electricity. And this challenge comes on from Amos Masondo. A very, very, very long time. You know, this is the challenge. And you are coming with an IDP, you're coming with the IDP and talking about debt relief. So debt relief, why not put the arrears of people into an abeyance account so that people can then start paying? And we know in our communities, we're having a challenge that people can't go and make an agreement because most of the houses, the parents have died, the grandparents have died, and the children are living in those houses. So how are you going to do that challenge? The people cannot go and sign a debt relief. And those that qualify for debt relief, you are not telling them that they must pay their current account. You're telling them they make an agreement. He must make an agreement, he's paying 500 Rand a month. His current account is already wrong, it comes out to 10,000 Rand a month. Is he not going to default? Is he not going to default? These are the things that you need to look at. Put that account, the arrears, put it in an abeyance account so that we can resolve all the other challenges. The challenges of who's the authorized, the guy with the letter of authority, if the parents have died, or whatever, the letter of executorship. Let us sort those things out first before we come with those debt relief issues. Because nobody is going to qualify. People can hardly qualify for something that was passed in 2004. Free basic electricity, free basic water. You can't qualify because the house does not belong to you. How do you? There is, I think, 2.7 million people were registered, but only 700,000 people got that free basic electricity. 2 million could not get it. Why? That's how money gets stolen. And to my comrades, even whether you're a councillor that belongs to any place, I want you to understand that you have sold us out, all the councillors. Because
Thank you very much. Time is up.
that you will pay your rates and taxes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We heard. Next speaker.
Sanbonani. My name is Inos Toledi and I represent the community of Ward 29 in Pennyville. I'm here to raise 5 issues only. The first point is that we're having a challenge with sports facilities and recreational centers. So we kindly asking for a City of Joburg to intervene because there is a massive piece of land opposite Noordgesig and Pennyville Extension 1 along New Canada Road. We believe that that piece of land can better be utilized for sporting facilities and for recreation. And the second point is that within Pennyville Phase 3, there was a piece of land that was previously used by IEC. So we also asking that piece of land, because it's not going to be used by IEC, we urgently asking for City of Joburg to intervene and build a info center within the community as well to assist the impoverished community of Pennyville, Phase 3. The third point is that we asking for reconstruction of Johannesburg Street and Imbala Road because the stormwater pipes, they are causing a massive damage because the road was resurfaced last year after the passing of the late previous councillor, Brenda Dame, but apparently hardly 5 months after the surface, the road is getting damaged again. So we're asking that can they reconstruct the street properly and do proper resurfacing. And the fourth point is that we're asking for the rebuilding of the mini bridge in New Canada Road next to ShopRite in Noordgesig because currently the city power cables, they are badly exposed because even last year there was someone that tried to cut those cables. So we're asking that can they try and build a bridge so that those cables they remain covered. And the last part is that we're asking for city power to...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will fill in the form. Next speaker.
Emote. Sanbonani, Nomsa Walaza. I saw in the presentation that you were presenting, Madam Speaker, you prioritize infrastructure, of which I don't know which ones, but maybe you can elaborate which ones, the infrastructure that you prioritize. And then the other thing that is very important to us, the gender-based violence that is perpetrated by the street lights that are not working, the electricity that goes off time and again. That on its own, it's a burning issue because crime to ibe high. They take advantage of the darkness. So the other thing is all the areas or the schools that are no longer working, can they be developed for skills development? Because our youth are not working, they are staying at home. But if we can give them skills through those schools, we can do something better. And then the children, in Orlando, if I can think about it, I don't see any park that has swings or anything. There's nothing about playing, but we said children are growing through playing. So how our children are playing today? There's nothing. There's no indigenous games, nothing. So if we can bring back...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You will also fill in at the form. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, it's Fezile Kona from Ward 30. Although I represent ComTev 1, but I'm representing here our ward. Madam Speaker, we as the ward are feeling very disappointed with the fact that the presentation here seemingly has managed to achieve what the previous sessions have attempted to do, to actually write us off the map of the city of Johannesburg as a Ward 30. Since 2022, we submitted the same IDP requirements, only 3 objectives, and they were very distinct. Clinic, a temporary clinic in Nomzamo. We requested for a taxi rank, which is around Chakane, and very important was a multi-purpose sporting facility. We have about 7 schools in our area, which are within our vicinity. That is a population of children of Orlando East and surrounding neighborhoods. Those children don't have a place to play. Our main submission was sports facilities. Instead, the lands that we have identified, we get reports behind the scenes that there's housing development that is being planned there. I think this is out of order. Unless you don't consider as a city and management of the city that our children are important and they need to grow as other children of other neighborhoods. Those children get involved in drugs as early as possible. They get victims of abuse. It's a serious matter.
Thank you very much. You will also fill in the form. Ward 31. Okay. Ke tla tsia one kamo le one kamo mme wa mathomo. Okay. Okay. You can come to the mic.
Dumelang. Ka lebitso ke Monica from Ward 31. Rona ka mo le saiteng la rona. Our challenge ke di street lights. The street lights di off and busiu ha roba le ke di thunya. Batho ba tshwarwa poo. So re kopa city power. Batle ba tlo re fixetsa di street lights. Secondly, a ke re ra tseba ba bangata hore youth a ibereki. Since youth is a bereki, there's this project ya pick it up and bana ba applyile. So nna ne ke batla o tseba hore ba tlo bitswa neng kapa ba tlo hirwa neng. And to Deputy Mayor, you address something like amapanyaza. Besicela Deputy Mayor ukuthi amapanyaza sicela ukubabona grounding because where thina la sibabona khona sibabona e-charge office and we are facing a lot of crime. I thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Sanbonani, igama lami uLindiwe Nkosi from Ward 31 under Councillor Bongani Dlamini. Madam Speaker, I'm so glad to see you. You taught me respect. And ngicela ukuthi sikontinue ngerespect. First of all, you wanted us to welcome you, but unfortunately, siyanifaka endlini yethu maniqeda nisasiphakeli. Ward 31 is not here, which means you guys have taken us out. So we don't exist, and there is no way that will attend to our issues if we don't exist. Madam Speaker, if you remember, on the 11th of October, we had the CBP where you urgently had to come and address us here because of the donkey block issue, where we are supposed to have a park and the money was allocated. The money disappeared. We've heard through the grapevine that the CO that stopped that project is actually arrested. It's not our problem. Our problem is where is our park, and we want an answer now because from 2022 to date, nothing has been delivered. We requested a park, a white church park. We requested a resurfacing of Nkomi Yahlaba. We requested a mall, a mini mall square there. Where is the station commander here? In October, we had a patroller that was killed. Crime is so high. The patroller was killed. It's still not, nobody's been arrested. We've got a guy that was killed last week on the street. That person has still not been arrested. Bylaws are not working. I hear you talking about bylaws, they're not working, they're dead. You call them, they don't come, so they don't exist. The gentleman who was telling us about our plan. Before you tell us about our plan, go and attend to those Pakistan buildings that are mushrooming all over Orlando, and nobody's doing anything about them. Because we've been talking about them, complaining, we the community have to go out and sort them out. Madam Speaker, you know I respect you. Madam Deputy Mayor, you know I respect you, but we want the CPFs here. We want the station commander here to account for this crime. Siyabong. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will then hand over to my colleague, Councillor Mpolobosha, our chairperson also.
Thank you very much, Chair Mabuke. Greeting to the Speaker of Council, and greeting also the Deputy Mayor of City of Johannesburg, and the MMCs, councillors, chairpersons who are here present, and also the official of the city, and the city manager as well, Floyd Briggs, the resident of City of Johannesburg, especially then the resident of Soweto in Region D2, Dumelang Sanbonan. My name is Moloko Mpolobosho. I'm the chairperson of Women's Settlement. The department normally we used to call housing. It is no longer housing, it's the Women's Settlement. I'm not going to waste my time, I'm just straight take where Councillor Mabuke left. I'm going to call then Ward 36. Can I see the hand? Ward 36. I want to see the hand. I see only one side. I want to check first before I point to you. 1, 2, 3. That side is nothing. That side is nothing. Can I see your hand? Raise your hand. Okay. Then you'll be number 1, Mama. Okay. And also you'll be number 2, white. Yeah. Come front, please. Just wait. Ward 37. Can I see the hand again? Ward 37. I see hand this side, I see hand this side. Okay. You will be number 1, then you'll be then number 2. Can you come front, Chief? Thank you. 37 is all. 38. Can I see what 38? Can you raise your hand? What 38? You want to make a more? And where? Okay. Then, yeah, brown cap, please come. Umama lapa, then green mamba. Itama. Yeah. Wearing the green mamba. Thank you. Ward 39? Ward 39, I see only one side hand. Can I check that side? Ward 39? Okay, now I must focus here. Because that side is nothing. You'll come, you'll be number 1. Mama, then you'll be number 2. Yes. Yeah, Mama. Hello. Mama, we can't be white. Mama, we kept it white. Mama, we kept it white, yeah. Yeah, le abutika mola komara. No, we come the room next to you, ma'am. Sorry for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ward 40? I see the hand. South side, north. I don't see anything from the side of Limpopo. I see only the south only, the hand. Then can I get then white sporty daso and Umamala will be number 2. 14, eh? Thank you very much. Let's start now. Can you come, number 1?
Thank you very much. Luckily, we talk to Julia Wahasereme from Ward 36. If you check more presentationing, Ward 36 has no more project or anything. Fine. More the burning issues. Only the bridge say too. Kamo Elias Motswaledi Road, the other one Ekamo Machaba. Since 2026, Rukupa or the upgrade. If you check now, the bridge itself said the Hohulehil. Seretama mo outside sidewalk. Retama most continuing Retama. The other issue from 2026, resurfacing Yakruze Street in White City. Till today, I want to Then, issue encha ernalinyon, butata bobucha bornalimbona, kuko Kubutle Street. Onali streami ko tlase kwa hapula ena ho bali di flats. Last week hane pula ena haholo. Babile bathola noha ko jarte. So JRA ikile yatla ulukisa bothata bo ba etsa babula stream se tsamaisa metsi but ha ona niks se etsahala. So ne re kopa hore ha le ka re attendela tsona tseo di bridge tse two kom Elias Motswaledi le ko Machaba resurfacing ya Cruise Street le bothata ba stream services ko Butla Street. Ke a leboha.
Thank you very much. The next one.
Sanbonani. Igama ngufakazile wakajanda from Ward 36 Zone 9. I've got few things I'm questioning for Nwasho. Ward 36, we've got 2 high schools, and those 2 high schools, the passing rate was beautiful. But one of the high schools, even today, it's been 2016 until today, they don't have electricity in that high schools. Even i-councillor liyazama lenzani, but that our schools are successful. And even maybe mabafuna the copies have to bahambe to other schools. If they wanted to do izinto ze-education, they have to go to other schools. That is one. The second one, at 36, the whole 36, the street lights, the potholes, like who bad, Mohammed Strate, Numikoti, because I think the president, Helen Zila, will come as a faginya footed up to that potholes lankayal. And another thing, grass cutting, cinema, open spaces, 36. Open spaces lako, grass cutting yakona, ingaga, idlula nam. Bayakbamba inkunzi bakufaka to that grass cut kuyo lo ndawo leyo bakubamba inkunzi awusaphuma uphuma soyashona lapha. We've got too much diseased bulalwe to those spaces as long akuna grass cutting akhathiwa kuna next ama storm koko ayalinka ayakuyabheda konke. So siyacela ukuthi as City of Johannesburg work hand in hand nama councillors. Ama councillors, they are trying, the community blame ama councillors, the fault ibagin because of the budget. So siyacela ukuthi please help the councillors. Iba now ama councillors, when the things ezenzakalayo, sicela ukuthi nani nibe khona. Thank you.
The next one.
Sanibonani nginibingelele. Madam Speaker, ngizothi all protocol observed. Ngizoqala ngokuthi siyamukela presentation. We welcome the presentation, but I think before we can move forward in the presentation ukuthi siyakwazi we adopt ngingathanda ukuthi asibe so my name is Siyathendra Kyanki, a member ye ward committee ward 37 under a human settlement ngokuhlala ngise-Nicefield sibonga. Ngithi singaqala ukuthi before si adopt a presentation, while not singabi nama policies education ukuthi sizokwazi ukufundisa umphakathi ngoba sizwile presentation uyichazile ubhuti wama rates and tariffs nama rebate, but umphakathi awu understand ukuthi yini lokho kenzakalani kuchatshwa ngoba kenzakalani, while not singabi ne presentation ezofundisa umphakathi ngendlela okuyiyona. Moving forward sinema issues okuthi sinawo ku housing. This why we will not stop advocate ama hostel ukuthi mele a rebuild ngoba we have issues ukuthi siya report manje and then iphinde iblock ama sewers nan. We would like ukuthi sibe ne session okuthi izo analyze yonke loma issues akhona analawo. Number 2, siya welcome I project isikhona homemakers and housing. Noma kunama certain issues we need to sikuveze lokuthi ezinye izinto sazibonga. We will not stop ukadvocatela youth. Madam Speaker, we will not stop ukadvocatela youth, but we cannot stop crime if singadili ne youth specifically ukuthi sikwazi ukukinsola ama project, not ukuthi ma city sifuna ama projects sithi umsebenzi. We have ama mentorships, we have ama internships, we have ama learnerships, we have sport asidile nezinto ezinjalo sizokwazi ukuthi sicompact crime. Njengoba sithi we are not only ukuthi siya-advocatela youth, but so ama leaders of youth comes and complains to us. Thina siyawazi ukuthi lo ubambe inkunzi, but we will not say that ukuthi lo ubambe inkunzi because akakanamsebenzi akasebenzi. Sibonga.
Thank you very much. Next one.
Sanibonani, igama uNceba wakwaSitokwe from Ward 37. Thanda ukubulisa speaker, the deputy mayor, no RT nawo onke ama officials. So nginama concern ayi3. The first one, it's ama street lights. We report ama street lights and then they are not fixed. And whenever they are fixed or basipha contractor in our ward, we have a challenge where the ward committee or report ama street lights is not accommodated. Our councillors, when we have our contractors coming to our ward, they use their friends to address some issues, and that becomes a problem for our ward committees. Which would like also to add to what can the city monitor our councillors wabo nama project akona within our communities. Which the next one, the turnaround strategy says city iyaslimaza. When you give us a contract for ward, by the time ba reach strategy 3 abasena skates enough, so a turnaround strategy yenu ngathi ngakhuphula amalanga. The other thing, indaba yezikolo lezi ziabandiwe, can you please address those schools? Because ziba indawo yekuthengiselwa ama-drugs, kuba yinkinga lezo ikolo lezo. The other thing engithanda ukuthi ngi-emphasize kakhulu, can you also put a lot of energy kuma-ward committees? They do address ama-issues, but they don't have enough support because some of them, they have issues nama-councillors. So we end up seeing abangani bama-councillors addressing inkinga zama-ward committees, and it would look like ama-ward committees, they are not working. But kakhulu, please monitor ama-employees wenu, ama-contractors wenu, ama-projects wenu. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani, ngutholakele wakamzinyane o38 ngiresident yakhona. Emezokucela mina nkosami icleaning ward 38 kuyayenziwa kushiwe, angazi kuzobuye kwenziwe nini, ne grass cutting ihlahla zinkulu too much. So njoba kucala ubusika lokuzana igebengu ziyagibela lapha ziloko sesiyacela phezulu nezihlahla ziyafula. Okwesibili kune 108 eDinizulu Street kune ekhone lapha kwakufuneka kufake i-storm drain, asikho i-storm drain, so amanzi ayama lapha. Sicele i-dustbin, sicele igandaganda ukuthi izosivulela i-trench kwazi ukuthi amanzi ahambe. So until now lutho. Okwesithathu ama-hams Dinizulu Street nase-Show into yamzukwane mntaka baba until now awukaze afakwa. So siyacela please. Eyesithathu i-electricity amapalethu awakudala, so akhishwa la amadala kwafuneka kufakwe amasha, so bashiya lele elisha belifakile azange basaqedele into yalast nge-12 saka December until now. So siyacela ke please, siyacela bana. Asibonga.
Siyabonga mama. The next one.
Sanibonani Dumelang, oyemi mopela lona ke Sarawa Hachauke from Ward 39. What we are asking as Ward 39 is the housing backlog at Women's Hostel to please be attended to, and hubaneli the extra units there. And the demarcation board has given us the space on the other side of the freeway. We are asking whether that space can be utilized for housing. And then the project at Mtipa, Yasua, can it be speed up for the betterment of our community? And then we are asking again for the space at the Shanty ground. Can we have a multi-purpose center there? Ibaneli Library and a bit of almost everything. And the Hector Peterson stalls, can those vendors ba akhelwe di stalls mole so that it's neat and it's lookable? And then we are asking again, Hore Joburg Water, can they go back and check their contractor, anybody film sebeti or the Tefla contractor, to come and check their pipes because they are creating a problem within the community. Then we are asking again the revamping of the parks around Ward 39. We're asking again for the illegal dumping around the ward, can it be looked into? Then we are requesting again for the stations around our railway stations around the ward to become economical for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one.
Dumelang kaofela, I want to extend a special welcome or word of welcome to the Deputy Mayor, Memasupu. We have Reho welcome as umpagati wase Soweto. I'm here not to speak about
your name.
What my name is Booty, and I'm going to explain. My name is Booty. I'm here to speak about the Region D. I'm not going to be speaking about ward-based concerns or complaints because I believe we have such forums. To concentrate on the IDP. I need to make an input on the IDP. And the very first one I've already mentioned to the chairperson. The very first one is the structure of the IDP processes. I believe that although I understand you have to control the sessions, but we feel very much constrained, for 2 minutes per person and only 2 people per hot. You are constrained at that thing. And we want to contribute very seriously on what has been presented. At this point in time, we have been given the presentation about the rate of increase IDP and the rates and so on. But we are unable to make a meaningful contribution to the input as an IDP because we don't have time. If I have to go there, already my time would be constrained, and very soon the security would be here telling me that I have to go. And I want to make the point that we are not unruly residents. We are very much responsible. Please treat us with that decency and restructure the whole IDP processes. Otherwise, we'll have
Time up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The next one.
Ngiyabonga bahlali base Joburg, former colleagues. I just want to raise this. I appreciate the presentation. Inkinga yami nginayo ukuthi out of this 97 billion budget, close to 10 billion goes to capital expenditure, and yet 90 billion goes to operational expenditure. And out of that 90 billion, maybe this current year, 20 plus billion will be going to the civil service, the people who are servicing us, your traffic officers, all the officials. Ngibamba lapho. Iconcern yami ukuthi, is it a budget? And when you look at the challenges that are facing Johannesburg, from Deep Slot to Orange Farm, just to mention ukuthi, for the city to address the issue of housing backlog, you need almost 114 billion per financial year to address housing. So I'm afraid. But the second one, out of the previous budget, out of contracted services, debt impairment, and other losses, almost 40 billion, I see it as a loss. There's 7 billion of rents that is used to contract services by the City of Johannesburg, which money can be used to create jobs. Sinabantu abayi almost 800,000 abangasebenzi eJohannesburg. I thank you.
Thank you.
Ndiyanibulisa nonke. My name is Mandi Satwai. I reside in Ward 40 under Councillor Tumelo Madiba. Inkinga esinazo thina kune Salvation Army ebizwa ngeTalita Home. Idinga renovation ukuze kwazi uzosebenza. There's also a library ngaphakathi kuyo edinga renovation ukuze kwazi ukoperate nayo. And kune sinkhole esinayo since 2022. Engakaze nje iattendwe since 22 sinenkinga sinkhole isemvubu street. Besingathanda ukuthi sithola usizo ngayo. Enye inkinga esinayo uJRA hayi bandla kasinikeza ama services kunama potholes yonke indawo. So besicela nje ukuthi nathi sinakekelwe basinikeza ama services uJRA. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one.
Sanibonani nonke. Ujabulani Dwai from Ward 40. Ngibuya same ward. Sine project eWard 40 eyetha Nathan. Ekuthi in 3 years ilibele yenza ama stop and go. I don't know why bangayenzi priority so that isheshe iphele because of the community seyiqalile manje iya complaina kune basement lapha njoba kunemvula so igcwala amanzi so I concern yabantu ukuthi yona le concrete already seyenziwe kuyogcina kumosheke yona le concrete makumele ibuye futhi kumele kuqalwe futhi nge concrete yona lese imoshekile so besicela ukuthi niyenze I priority because angibonanga kwi list yezinto bezilana ayikho and then I bridge siyabonga nge bridge but for over 20 years besicela I bridge yeyimoto and then kuza I bridge ama pedestrian lebe silibele sinayo sithi sicela ishintshwe kuze yeyimoto ize yavalwa ivalwa because ingasekho isimene si right but mase ibuyiswa sekubuya the very same bridge yama pedestrian besicela ukuthi nayo ibhekisise kahle kufuneka ibridge yeyimoto because of mawusuka from that section to other section ngemoto uya rounda ngono ushiya imoto yakho uhambe ngeenyawo and then sine danger usisi uqeda kuyimention so ngithi nami ngicindezele indaba yesinkhole isinkhole ina 3 years ikhona lapha ene iphambi kweground la abantwana abadlalela khona umntwana makangawela ngale ngaphakathi angeke siphinde simthole so ngithi nje makunga speed up I process yesinkhole ibe right and then iJRA sine hostel lapha yana ukuthi kune freeway phambi kwe hostel kune 4-way stop kule freeway manje ibizi 4-way stop because of ama robot awekho aneminyaka angekho angasasebenzi and abantwana from zone 11 to elokushini ba crossa lapha every day nantambama ukuya esikolweni nokubuya esikolweni sicela ukuthi iJRA ibheke le ndaba yala ma robot ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Before I go to the next ward, I just welcome the MMC Ahmad from Community Development. MMC, the Deputy Mayor has got 58 pages for question for your department. You must be ready for that. 58 questions. Be ready for that. Can I continue again to go to Ward 41? Let's check Ward 41. I see one hand this side. Can I check that side if there's anyone? Ward 41. Can you raise your hand there, Chief? When operating the specs? Yeah, I want to see your hand must go up. You Brown and also then that were skippers show. Can you come front, please? Ward 41. Ward 42. Ward 42. Kibwana Lutsokamo will be number 1, Mama. And then, can I take that side? Ntatekamo wabere uniform yamsebetsi 8. Yeah. Ward 41. Ward 42. Oh, okay. I call Ward 42. Yes. Can you come front? Okay. Ward 43. The green mamba. Can I check another hand? You are only one. Okay. You are only one. Ward 42. Ward 43. Ward 45. You will be number 1 and number 2. Ntatewa jacket red and white. Kopapa motle. Yeah. Yeah. Ogari deni di felele ti lo tsarona. 41, 42, 43, 45. Number 1 speaker, can you come closer? Thank you.
Sanibonani bahlali, Deputy Mayor, lonke MMCs and councillors. Igama lami umqhusi wakwaManana, ngihlala Ward 41. Concern yami ukuthi kunama project bewayenze 41 la kuphumele yasephepheni station imile nayo sifuna ukwazi ukuthi ichubeka nini kune stadium sasemiliyoni stadium nayo mena 4 faces sasifuna ukwazi ukuthi ku face bani ngoba ayiveli khona lana manje, and then nemapedi wall nayo kumele renovate kwafakwa namagama ukuthi kuzoba nama employees kwathathwa amagama wabantu, sifuna ukwazi ukuthi ayocala nini na leyo project leyo. Kuyishwe ye service delivery urban inspector umbali ucooperator kahle, sirepota kahle kuye ama light baya responda, but I city power idonse inyawo. I think makunama contractor kuba more faster ngoba mhlambe baya invoice ama light yabo, but idonse inyawo, iGRA idonse inyawo, iJoburg kodwa siyabonga ngamasuka iresponder same day. Ngokunye i-demarcation board I think iyinyokanyana ngoba iyasimisleader. Siyaplana thina ku IDP ihlala isikhathi eside, then yona yafika after 10 years ithi yasukuya ngapha yabo, then kwezakalani mesiplana ini kanti abobani abantu kanti lapho. Ngokunye kule issue yasephefeni station njoba kurenovate kanje ndayikhumbula iteshi zakudala bezinjani, mesinesabhuyi lapha ephefeni mesidlula ukuthi sebo ma clinic sigibela ama taxi siyenzeni. Okay, basakhila ibridge maba renovate istation oqala ukuzirenovate basenzele ibridge, but ibridge ngale kwebridge baphumele 39 kunegate lavala, igate lakho la belingavala. Mawufuna bakuvala istrain mayingasahambi igate uyakhona ukulivula mawubuye ebusuku ulivale udabula lapho ungene ephefeni, but manje siba ne tendency ukuthi bayalivala igate ngama Sunday. Ulivalelani igate umphakathi uye emateksini uhambe kanjani? Sicela nisenzeleni isubway khona lapha eThwala Street ezosikhiphela office kuma councillors office eclinic kusasa. I think manje ngasenzela isubway for the community yethu yangapha Phefeni ne Midlands zone 5 ukuzakala. I thank you.
Thank you. The next one, the next speaker.
Afternoon Speaker, Deputy Mayor, all MMCs, and everyone in the crowd. There is a Soweto Basketball Academy within Region D, and I feel that this affects everyone sitting here today, as well as everyone in all of the wards that have been coming up today giving their issues. The Soweto Basketball Academy needs a formal relationship with the City of Johannesburg in the work that they do. The Soweto Basketball Academy is a non-profit organization that provides young individuals from all over Region D with athleticism skills, and they don't just do that, they go above and beyond in helping in academics should they see a decline in academics. They also provide these students with meals about 3 times a week. And that is another issue that I wanted to raise. When it comes to the provision of food to these young individuals, then, is there something that we can do to help them? Like a formal agreement with the Joburg food and veg market, because some of these kids only eat when this NPO provides them with food. And so then, the Academy is also doing a very good work with keeping these kids off the street. They ensure that these kids come back the next day so that they don't end up drinking or doing drugs or doing anything of illegal sorts within the community. I just wanted to ask if there's something we can do to engage the Soweto Basketball Academy and help them widen their influence and their range to better the lives of many Soweto kids. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The young line. The next one.
Oh, Deputy Chair, Makala Khago,
Tell
and then
my
my councillor.
Can you come close, ma? Yeah,
Okay.
Melania.
My councillor ki dumedisitse. Aka emela nix ke emetse o tloleboga. Ke tloleboga ka reserve ya ko hot 43. Ya ko hot 43 is because ko hot nyaka re sokotse ka metsi. Batho ne ba dula 3 months to 7 months ba sna metsi. And then by that time, you know, community Ijuang, community was talking kamolika ba khogagogana. So the way go leng ka teng go no go tlo shwa motho mole. But now I say thank you ka reserve ela, because I wa benefit a hot 43 fela. Go benefitile 43, 41, 42. Ke rena ba ne re na le challenge ya metsi. Ke a leboga gagolo. Se ke se kopang gape ke dintlo. Housing, please le dlala ka bokoko. Ntse le re di pensioners tla yang ba feng dintlo ha bana dintlo bokoko gore ha le mo le go kena ka botshomi gore o tseba mang ha o tsebe mang le di councillor tsa rena di aya ba ile bua le bona gore go etsagalang ha ba batle councillor ba batle hot committee re a kopa leader tsa rona gore buang le batho ba le ba lokisetse bokoko ba bang ba ba sobe le dintlo le gona no, and there's a reason behind that. Ha re tsebetse ba ke bona, we can't judge them. Ke tlo leboga fela, ke a leboga.
Thank you. The next one.
Sanibonani nonke. Chair, I'm not Green Mamba. Okay. Ngibulisa uSpeaker, ngibulisa neDeputy Mayor yethu Loyiso Masuku nama MMC wonke, including leadership yonke nama councillors wethu ama ward councillor ngithi sanibonani nomphakathi wonke lana ethi ngingamoshi isikhathi. Mina ngulele uLucas Daniel Mthembu from Ward 43. Ngizele nje ama issues regarding ECPP feedback lepe siyenzile. Mangithi ngiyacheka la. Ngizwile uDeputy Mayor makakhuluma ngeMidlands Reservoir, Midlands Leaking Reservoir. Yes, we do understand ukuthi silwele ukuthi sithole 72 million. But the problem ukuthi manje seyina 4 months engasebenzi imile. Ene bengazi ukuthi kuba i-upgrade yakhona. But unfortunately ngicela ukuthi ni-checkene nabantu abasebenza khona lapha azange abakabhadalwa abanye sekuyi 4 months. Bese ngiya kwenye i-project besinayo ye JDA, Johannesburg Development Agency. Khona ama-ground wase zone 7 sports ground eMidlands zone 7. I-budget yakhona 17 million and angiyiboni la ngoba bekhona ku-CBP. Ngicela ukuthi ni-check ngoba siyayifuna leyo project ukuthi ibuye. Bese siya kuye sithathu i-Spider Park. I-Spider Park i-budget yakhona 3.2 million. Mele ukuthi izolungisiwa sase zone 7. Bese ngiza kuwe MMC wena MMC Square. I still remember ngacela ama-high mass I4 because of land kuye high risk areas, communities are complaining. Ngicela ukuthi ungiphe wona before uzophuma to your term of office. Ngoba this is the agreement ngoba I know ukuthi i-City Power bayiphe 1 billion. Ngiyayicela ngoba nami ngiyawafuna ukuthi umphakathi ube nogesi. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one.
Dumelang kaofela, ke Daniel Sithole, ke Ward Committee ya ko Ward 45. Ke second term ya ka ena ibile. Problem ya ka ke tseba ko office ya council tshwantse go bana le landline phone e be teng ka mogare ka mo. Bianong ha e teng. A re khone go loka mo. And then administrator on a phone wa itseya o tsama ka yona wa nkadima kana kwengwe ba re go goletsa favor. And then into tshwanetse and then gape gona le golf driving range ko Dorothy Nyembe Park. That golf range City Park I maintain next ruta bana ba banyane golf ko teng mo since 2013 ntse le ko teng ko ha nya ko bona dinepe tsa bana ba banyane. And then service delivery is so horrible ko Ward 45. The street light, the pothole, the sewer and all that is horrible. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Afternoon. My name is Dinon Seare, all protocol observed. I've got a lot of questions. Number one, on the 12/07/2024, Councillor Mgini, Willa Banali, a webinar. On the webinar, we put in traffic congestion within Ward 45, Ko Elias Mutswale, the street trading, land invasion, flooding within the Ward 45, specifically Messi Park block. Now, I have a problem with the city. We come to these events every year. Where do these things go? The reporting, the feedback, and everything. It's like we're coming to talk shows every year. Deputy Mayor, the presentation looks good it's very nice, but it's nothing. There's a difference between public participation and introduction to the community. The only time we see the councillor is when a project is coming. Besides that, we never. We have problems. I want to know if do councillors have a report? Where does it go? Can we see it as a community? Because councillors do come in and they go, and there's nothing that we actually see with these councillors. The flooding, yeah, Elias Motswaledi, is in over 30 years. Who do we put accountable? JRA, Ibuadi, Tori, fairy tales have been there. My grandmother died ages ago, fighting for the flooding. Even today, I am here coming to fight so it means my kids will be doing the same. So who do we put accountable on all of these cities' problems? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Mpagatua Region D2, your discipline, our discipline, so I don't want to waste time. I just want to give a speaker your time. Over to speaker.
The lady in the front, I'm just like you to struggle with the mic. We are challenged. Thank you so much to the two chairpersons for doing the questions. I am going to be asking the Deputy Executive Mayor together with the MMCs to respond to your questions and your inputs, because some of them were inputs, some of them were questions. But I'm going to answer to one question where I was asked, ever since I came in, what have I done with councillors? I suppose you were asking whether we've dealt with councillors who have not done their work. Yes, there is a process, and the process is whoever has a complaint against a councillor, whether it's a ward councillor, a PR, an MMC, they write to the Speaker's office, and we look at this through our legal, and we then deal with the issue. If your issue is frivolous, it gets thrown out, but if your issue is real, we take it to ethics and we deal with it. The issue on the ward committees that you asked whether you have the energy, but what do we do? As ward committees, you are supposed to know that there's ward governance, and ward governance deals with your issues with the councillors, and you also then, if ward governance has a challenge, they bring it to my attention. Councillors do report, and they report to council, who is the highest structure. They report to council, but if you have issues, you can write to us where councillors have not done what they are supposed to do. I'm going to ask, I'm not sure in which order the MMCs and the Deputy Mayor want. Okay, I got the indication. I'm going to call on the MMC of EISD to be the first one responding, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much.
Speaker, you've catered for yourself. The mic is almost 1 meter lower than, you know. Good afternoon, Speaker, to yourself. Deputy Executive Mayor, also MMC of Finance, Umama Loiso Masugu. I see MMC Amat. I happen to have a child when he was the mayor. And I had to name, you know, when you name a child, you know what you ask about it. But no, name him Utabel. And he said, I've named my son after him. He still owes me a visit. Colleagues and councillors of the City of Johannesburg, members of community, the most important stakeholders that brought us here today. I think there are general concern around street lights in part of Soweto. I might not be specific to answer your specific word, but suffice to say that we have a program where we are visiting Region D, working together with RD Ungalongulu and some colleagues on the ground leaders. Some councillors will know that we have visited these places on quite a number of issues to try and deal with some of the issues that are raised here. Now, I've noted with concern from Siabonga in 122, he says there's an area, some months without electricity, and I think there's a concern there that the mechanisms used by City Power now of late, but ESP, you must normalize you, so prepaid, that system, I think is a back there. So that thing is true, and I think what we've requested that to expedite the process of ESP. So I'm glad that the Deputy Executive Mayor mentioned that through Joburg, you can also do that, so you are also able to be captured as an ESP beneficiary. But there are areas where, in fact, we have intervened while that process is undergoing, so that we don't wait for you, the whole entire CASI, to be registered while you are suffering, with the issue of electricity. So we'll look at that. I'll take your numbers. We have our own discussion after this meeting, how we intervene in between. My discussion with ED was that there should be an open day so that at least you are able to cover everybody who is in that area. So the assistant was, City Power, what they are worried about is one, non-revenue electricity loss in our townships. Now they're saying that now of late, before we fix your transformer, let's make sure that people are normalized when I'm smart meters and they are vending properly. But there are instances we'll come and intervene, don't worry, we think we'll speak to our City Power colleagues to expedite that particular issue. We appreciate the work done by Pick It Up. Most of the visits we've done in Soweto on accelerated service delivery, Pick It Up had very few issues. They are unable actually to collect waste in our townships. As you can see, the first page on the presentation that was led by the Deputy Executive Mayor, we are just above 90% in terms of the waste collection. So we'll identify those areas where there's illegal dumping, and please forward me those locations. We'll send our team to come and clear those illegal dumpings. I would have forgotten to acknowledge the administrative politburo within the city led by the city manager there on my far left, with the group CFOs. I'm told that they are going to be contesting elections. So now, Godfrey raised an issue of an underground water in the area. And I think one of the most biggest problems of underground water in Soweto largely, we must explain it why and how it came. We must give it a background why it's happening. Now, when the government of the then apartheid moved people to Soweto, large part of Soweto was a farm, was an agricultural land. And those white farmers will rely on an underground water to irrigate their own plants. Now, over time, we occupied Soweto largely and such underground water remain unused for over decades. And the levels of that water underground went up and up and up. There's a pockets in areas of Soweto where you experience this underground water. Now, part of the reason why Deputy Executive Mayor want to explore in other parts of the city an issue or a mechanism of boreholes is to try and reduce that amount of underground water within the city. But obviously, it won't be everywhere because there are elements or pockets where there were mine dumps, such water is contaminated, can't be used. But where we have done our own investigation, that water can be drinkable because we're going to treat that water. As so shay borehole bese sithi no nanga manzi. Siyenza borehole, we purify that water according to the national standard. Treat it to a point where it's drinkable. Then we're going to actually reticulate it in some of our own informal settlements. Now, if you're in Orlando here, Orlando was the name of a farmer who was farming here in this part of Soweto. Now, Batlali, we are experiencing a quite number of cable theft in our townships, whereby there are affecting street lights. Now, where I am, I said to City Power, we need to do things differently because you can't kill the market a cable. You know, you move from copper cable to aluminium, trying to make it not sellable. But of late, lamapoto lawa enpheka ngawo mama akhandwe ngealuminium. Bahamba ejontshele aluminium ama cable bayokhanda ngamapoto. And the evidence we have now that this material gets stolen here and even taken out of the country, such as China as an example of those. It comes back as an end product. Now, Award 31, bakhulume kakhulu ngama street lights. We'll work on that. We'll create a program. We'll ask the team, City Power. I think they're all here. I've seen about Tepo, they're here. They've noted all your issues. We'll try and deal with the issue of street lights not working in parts of Ward 31. Now, Monica, ubuze any question ukuthi abasebenzi be pick it up baqala nini. I'm sure I suppose she was referring to those that were advertised a year ago. Unfortunately, a month ago we had to deal with the issue of PFA within the city. Abasebenzi besibakoleta imali eningi kakhulu. Just give and take around 2 billion rand, where we had to take certain monies all over the place so that we are able to give abasebenzi around 2 billion for them to cover what you call them politically facilitated agreement. That was led by city manager and the group CFO. Some members that were here knows very well. As a result, administration felt that we need to pause kancane in terms of this particular post so that we are able to assist abasebenzi with the problem that they are currently facing. Now, I'm not sure how many minutes I was given, Speaker. We wanted to embark in the program of migrating Soweto from ESCOM to City Power. Now, there is a particular issue that we are dealing with of cross-subsidization. Gibonil ama strike where you went to ESCOM about flat rate of 350 and so on. But the issue of that particular migration doesn't only speak of Soweto, it's also other areas, including the affluent areas such as Sandton, where we are making most of our revenue from. Now, I want to manage it properly to a point whereby once it's done, someone in Sandton mustn't say, we also want our own flat rate as Sandton residents and business people. So it's a very difficult terrain to manage, but we're in the process of that. But now, City Power then brings about this issue that we spoke about of normalizations, that before, if you burn a transformer, before we come and replace, we make sure that you normalize you, so for a smart meter, you are able to pay. Those that can afford to pay must go for ESP. If they can't, kuba nzima to migrate, because they will say, but you are going to suffer what Eskom has always suffered. Now, again, other municipalities, Eguruleni, wherever they might say, if you give people of Soweto a flat rate, then let it be uniform across the county. So I'll call Lola as it appears. So I tend to manage some of those particular political issues. Now, if flooding issue, we will speak to GRA. CM, I think, is here. CM will assist us to speak to GRA on the matters of flooding that are raised by residents here. Because some of those is not just there's no storm water, just that they just need to be serviced. Either it's a blockage and so on, that must be done. Now, Ufakazile, I'm not sure if there should be a school that can have electricity for such a very long time. Please come to me and share in details why there is no power in that school. School is done by province, but electricity is us. Where does City Power, we don't know, we have to get that information. But there's a particular way, and I think Deputy Executive Mayor will agree with me that Ikolo, Namasond, we treat them differently because a special case there. You can't just say we're going to disconnect school because they are owing us money. So it's a very essential service that must be done by those schools there. Now, Ucnebo spoke about street lights. We'll attend to that in Ward 37. But as other point that he has raised is that our projects are not delivered in time. And Okonote Joburg project in about 4 months is not moving. But there are two issues that we have encountered. The one in Jabulani reservoir upgrade. We are dealing with the issue of local beneficiation. Angimanje my project my figure bona sesiyasukuma ngama profiles. CLOs deployment, SMMEs, who is who, and then people fight, close the gate and so on. Then becomes a problem. Those things contribute, to the delivery of the project in time. So we're dealing with those particular issue of SME in both Jabulani and across, the one also in Midlands. So we're going to be concentrated largely in those reservoirs to be done in this financial year. Now we will take it to Joburg Kota, Usisi, Usara, Okulumenge Tesla. That is not actually servicing people properly there. We'll investigate, we'll bring report to the councillor what's actually happening there. And the sewer project that they think that need to be expedited, we will do so. So sanibonga kakhulu bahlala, thanks a lot. Sibonga nomama ufikile towards the end, what we appreciate umsebenzi wenze Joburg Water regarding the upgrade of the Jabulani and Midland reservoir. Ama reservoir abaleke kakhulu. There we have bypassed those two reservoirs because we are losing a lot of water inside those reservoirs. And as a result, we appreciate the work that has been done now, that at least we are able to repair them. And we will guarantee you a reservoir capacity to actually give you water, while in the meantime we are doing a maintenance, well-planned maintenance or unplanned maintenance. If a reservoir and there is an unplanned maintenance, definitely we are going to lose water immediately because there's no water that have reserved somewhere else. So our reservoirs are very much important within us as the city. DEM, I think we'll reserve others to you. I'm not sure if Tabza will want to come on the issues of city parks, grass cutting that were raised in parts of Soweto. Thanks, Speaker.
Yeah. Dumelang. Dumelang Bakolo. Legai. Reteng. Nalina laka ke Tapelo Ahmad. I am an MMC responsible for community development. Ke tla leka gore ke summarize dipotso tsa lona. Tse leng gore they are also important for the city to consider. And those questions, because the team your city is here, they will be prioritized as per ward, because we understand horizonting might be cross-cutting. So the main question is grass cutting, more the parks tsa rona and public open spaces. You would appreciate where we are in a rainy season, so the department would cut grass perhaps twice in a month, if not once in a month. So if there are escalations from the community itself, we prioritize those spaces. So re tla kopa gore those ba ba nang le di challenges in our public open spaces, the parks tsa rona or mo go nang le tlhaga that belongs to the City of Johannesburg, we would love you to escalate through the councillors tsa lona, the ward councillors, and the department will prioritize. More sports fields. We are gradually doing it. There's a progress in Leko sports fields. We've received the escalations from the councillors, and the community will be urged gore ba tswelle pele go berekisana le di councillors tsa bone, in as much as our response is at a minimal, but the city has prioritized, because the sports field, we are a caring city that has to ensure we want to nurture the talent. The young man who came here was basketball academy. We need to prioritize bacha ba rona so that they don't end up indulging more drugs or other substances. So we have taken that as the city, and most importantly, I met the department, le Directorate ya Sport Maobane, and these are the issues we have spoken about, and so much so if anyone wan phakathi from the public sector, because we believe good governance fosteriwa ke stakeholder engagement. Those stakeholders banang le matla, they are able to adopt those sports facilities on behalf of the city or those parks. We have an open door policies to engage. The team is here, Lerona, the MMC responsible for finance is here. So the Mpagati itself is unable to do so. We coordinate with finance and they allocate in accordance to what is the need ya community arona. So more basketball, the young men and anyone is in charge for the academy, outside, so that we can exchange notes and see how do we empower the academy. because there has been that communication between us and those who are championing these sporting codes within the city of Johannesburg. The swimming pools, of course, not every ward in a swimming pool, I get it. And for the wards selling for the swimming pool, the reason why the progress of the swimming pool has been halted, the city has went out on tender for a chlorine, a chlorine chemical cleaning those swimming pools. So, in a specific need, that particular chlorine, the service providers, they haven't found that specific chlorine, the chemical cleaning the swimming pools. So it has to be in a certain standard so that it doesn't harm bana ba lona ha ba berekisa those swimming pools. A re batlo gore ka moso a bana ba lona ba gobetse ba cheswa ke chemical, then the city is in trouble. So that process, those swimming pools, it's out on tender, and there's we are earmarking the service providers that would come and assist to clean up those swimming pools. And we also need to appreciate where some of those facilities, the swimming pools, they are more than 50 years old. So we want to work with DEM. We would love to get an assistance from public safety. This is one of the issues, the challenges that we faced as the department, the security aspect. So whenever there's no security in our facilities, there's vandalism. So the community enke ownership of those facilities, because when the city elena those facilities, there's an expectation for our community those facilities. So rale kopa tswetswe batsadi gore le di tlhokomeleng those facilities, because we might have challenges in security. So these are the points they long for getting killer from Mpagati at various wards. I would leave it here, and we will work with the team that is here today with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, MMC Ahmed. We'll now get from the Deputy Mayor. I don't know if you are taller than me. I'm taller than you, Nick.
Thank you so much, Speaker. The MMCs have responded on various issues, but I think it's important to deal with the issue of the, and I'm going to direct this to the administration. The residents are saying, if we are supposed to provide services as government who are elected to serve communities, if our systems are offline, then we can't help them. So it's a criticism that is coming from communities to us government about our inability to stay online. The mom was making an example that ngifuna ukuyobhadala, but mangifika if kuthiwa offline angeke ngiphinde ngibuye ngizoyisebenzisa, I'll use that money for something else. So siphinde sithi thina futhi kuneyinkinga. So let's deal with this issue, city manager and CFO and group ICT, because umphakathi is giving us feedback. It's an opportunity for us to take it from them, this issue they are raising, we are forever offline in the city of Joburg. And she gave us examples. I think it was this Norma. The issue of, we've noted the issue of Funda Center and the Career Center, and I think it's a valid point. The facilities must be used for what they were designed for. MMC, I hope you have noted that issue coming from Ward 26, as well as the Ward 37 issue of the grounds on Iming Drive and the multi-purpose center. I know MMC Squaila on the underground water issue for in Ward 28, that has been a persistent issue. I know Guti Itimiake is making money available to look into dealing with that particular issue. The advice to partner with NGOs, Nontlantla, partner with NGOs on HIV awareness, and well as the work that we must do on ECD. I've taken note. We will send it to MMC Makafula. She's the MMC responsible for health and social development, because that's an important issue in dealing with social development issues and making sure our girl children and boy children are protected in our communities. And it's linked to that issue where we raise Yama street lights and grass, how easy it is to get attacked if you are a woman, if it's dark, and if the grass is tall. So it's an integrated service delivery issue, because it requires both an issue of city power, an issue of social development for the young girls, as well as health and social development. CFO Abdullah from Ward 29 raises a concern about the debt relief program, that seemingly we are not communicating clear. He doesn't dispute that there's communication, but he's saying seemingly people don't know that they must pay for the current account. So my debt, nkolota 20,000, ngumamu Dlamini. Mamu Dlamini ukolota 20,000. Ngizohamba ngiyo-apply ngoba ngiyi-pensioner. I take it that nizongwrite off well and good, ngiqala ku-0. But while you are processing my application, in the 6-7 months you are processing my application, I must pay my monthly debt. So what he's saying is we need to have a better mechanism of making people understand ukuthi while you apply yibe upatala le oyikolotayo imali ye monthly consumption. That's what I think is saying. And then Abdul raises the issue of people who default or are unable to enter into AODs because the houses belong to their families, and it's lots of families where they've passed on. So through the councillor, RD, we need to bring this program of deceased estates to the community of Soweto so that they understand how to apply and qualify. Because this issue of deceased estates, there's a mechanism, there's a criteria in the city. Yokusiza abantu ngama deceased estates. There are certain documents okumele uwalethe, which are the death certificates, the previous statements, your particular ID, an affidavit in an event where there is a witness that is required. So there's a process alone outside the debt relief program of a deceased estate where we have helped people with those challenges, where we also bring human settlements on board. So Regional Director, I am requesting that before the end of April, in this community hall, there must be a program of deceased estates to assist communities so that they understand ukuthi uphuma kanjani when you are faced with these particular challenges. Then the issue of the amapanya. I'm going to personally send the request. It was a request to the Premier on how you would like to see amapanya being integrated and assisting in your communities. Bangahlali ema church office. Ngizwe kahle le. Ngizoyithumela injalo ukuthi iphume eOrlando Communal Hall ngoba umphakathi ukhala ngesafety, so labantu mababonwe bepatrola estrateni. So I will do that. It was Stella Mapanya Panya on the ground, Sinizile Sis Monica. Sis Lindiwe, I'm going to, because in the presentation you saw we had slides that spoke about a safer city, increasing visibility and ensuring that we improve in terms of our technology on the safety aspect. But Sislindi, when ndiyakuva xa usithi nine inkinga ngama station commander, nine inkinga ngama CPF. Mina bengizocebisa ukuthi kunganjani speaker through your office and what governance and IGR and the mayor's office, RD, everyone, sends any crime imbizo, public community safety, chairperson sends any crime imbizo la. There isn't a single person who spoke, didn't complain about crime in their ward. So I'm suggesting, Speaker, that we do that because remember, I explained earlier ukuthi kune local, kune provincial, kune national government. So Tina, jurisdiction yethu iphelela kwi JMPD. The issues you complained about here, they require SAPS at a provincial and a national level. But they are important issues because you stay in our seat. So we, as a leadership who assist with representing you with these councillors that were standing when I introduced them. So I'm proposing that we do that, and it is an action item that we agree upon here collectively. Kungabi ngathi sizele only izinto ze service delivery as it relates to cutting grass and stormwater about as a crime at a provincial and national level. We have a mechanism through intergovernmental relations to deal with them. So that is a proposal I'm making in terms of how we deal with that. City manager, there are 2 residents who complained here, including Sislindi were in 31, and I think there was a complaint from Ward 22. The gentleman who was presenting about rates and explaining ukuthi before you build, you must have permission from the city. Angisho wenza umsebenzi wakhe beka explain yena. Cela singamlwisi. Beka educate ukuthi kumele ufollowish process. But city manager and Eric, the communities are saying, but you are not dealing with the mushrooming Pakistan buildings that are illegal. It's them who said it, not me. They are saying, oh, you want to target us because we are black, underprivileged, but we are leaving the Pakistanis who are building buildings here in Orlando. That's what they are saying. It's not me. Now, I don't have a problem with us enforcing bylaws. That's what she said. She said, but why are you not enforcing bylaws to the people who those buildings are double and triple stories? Eric, you need to do an operation in Ward 30 and Ward 31 to understand these issues that the community is raising. Because if you don't do that, it means we won't be able to even have them to comply. It means we don't have an opportunity to assist our communities to comply. And I'm raising these things because, Akira explained to you, Tina sivotelwa ngezandla. Ribong kheteng, ridi councillor. Those are the people who are implementing in the administration. That is why I am pointing to them, putting them to task, issue by issue that you have raised. And we must then hold them accountable. Speaker and these chairpersons must hold them accountable. That's what we must do. So, the issue of these buildings that are mushrooming is a great concern, already came out from 2 wards. The other issues were generic in terms of the street lights, which MMC already responded to, and grass cutting. Speaker, there was also something that I think it's a learning curve. It was raised by Ubudi. He says, in future, we may want to rethink how we do IDPs. We may want to rethink if after the CBP process, do we want to do IDPs in this fashion, or we want to rethink, not stop IDPs, but rethink how we structure IDPs? I think it was constructive feedback, ukuthi sicabange, because it falls in your space in what governance. The former councillor uMandela wethu waseSoweto, point taken on your concern that seemingly more money is seemingly going to issues that are more operational than the capital projects. And it's because, and we can't hide it, you raised a concern about ukuthi ngathi abantu kuyakhokhwa. Remember, we've got obligations. We've got a politically facilitated agreement. It's an obligation we made. We have to fulfill so that the workers get what is due to them. You will understand ukuthi uMasipala wethu is a grade 10 municipality, and we have not been remunerating employees accordingly. So kumele manje sibeke imali yokuthi abasebenzi bakhone ukuthola umholo ofanele uMasipala esikuwo. But over and above that, silungise the past inequalities in terms of how they were being compensated in terms of their salary. And we've signed it, we have to commit and fulfill that particular politically facilitated agreement. Asisho ukuthi ukhokhela abantu kubaleke ukudlula service delivery, but sithi masenze isithembiso sokuthi umuntu, remember labantu base JRA, base Metrobus, base Pick It Up, base City Power, base JMPD, they are in the face of service delivery. And umuntu mahola imali ayifanele uzoba motivated ukuprovide ama services emsebenzini. Yiko sithi kumele sizigcine lezo zithembiso esizenzile. But ukuthi ukhumbula ukuthi siyathola nama grants, we get grants from national in terms of how we can increase in terms of our projects. We also are planning on what we call public-private partnership, triple Ps. Esizokwazi ukuthi sithole imali ne-business isisize to be able to increase kulama reservoirs. Ebenijabulile ukuthi at least there are reservoirs being built. Increase kulama project eniwafunayo. Abanye benu, you want mini shopping malls. Those are developments that come through those particular businesses so that Joburg thrives better. MMC has addressed the issue of the academy, but I think there's an element of the food and vegetable engagement. MMC, you must include MMC economic development, because there's an issue raised on how we can assist those young people when they have tournaments, when they have practice, nutrition, babene fruit, veg, water, when they are having their tournaments. I think it's an important contribution to make. I've noted, CFO, there's a specific issue here in Ward 43. People have been working, they have not been paid, that's why the project have been stopped. I've asked my office to take a note of that specific issue from Ward 43 so that we follow up. The issue of the sinkhole. We can't have a sinkhole for 3 years, colleagues. It doesn't make sense. City manager, Liziwe, you are speaking while I'm speaking. Group head. A sinkhole, and you are a group head for CRAM. So I will leave the task to you. A sinkhole for 3 years in Ward 40. At the end of April, I'm going to go to Ward 40 for a walkabout. There must be something that has happened on that sinkhole. Because children are playing there, they are going to get into that sinkhole. We're going to have a crisis of a child or children that are dying there. But we have the ability. It's on. If you were listening to the community members, you can note, because I saw you were not writing, it's on Mvubu Street. that sinkhole. I will go there myself at the end of April. And I'm going to also tell the executive mayor, it will be me or himself who goes there so that we go and check if you have resolved the issue. If it's not resolvable, but there must be a program, something to deal with the sinkhole. Because then we are going to be in the newspaper, City of Joburg has not fixed a sinkhole for 3 years. We can't be a city like that, colleagues. The last one, the JRA bridge. JRA is not here. The community is saying they appreciate city manager. Bayabonga, they appreciate that JDA and so forth, they designed, they had a bridge, it's good, but the bridge got dilapidated and they couldn't use the bridge. Then they made submissions. 3 years later, they appreciate that the city has put money to build them a bridge. They're acknowledging that you've responded. They appreciate that. But they're saying they have a problem because instead of putting a motor vehicle, the city is putting a pedestrian. And the motor vehicles are unable to then move and there's congestion. They acknowledge the fact that there's work happening, but it's not fit for purpose for what they want to do. So we need to really think, Ukuti, our communities, they can see and they appreciate when we do things, but we must also get JRA and our implementing agents to do what is beneficial for umphakathi. That is all we are asking. And I want to thank you, community, for an honest IDP session. You know, I was here last year with the speaker. And there are small improvements. We've done better than last year. And you are not fighting. You are not aggressive. You are just saying, correct here and here. Because we respect you as government, but we are your voters. So we will do our part. We will hold the administration to account, and we will be able to. So key takeaway, Speaker, it's the safety imbizo, RD, the deceased estate program through group finance, Zami, I hope you are listening from my office, on the deceased estate program, and in the immediate, the sinkhole issue of Ward 40 that must be dealt with. Thank you very much. Amandla! Awethu! Mandla!
Thank you so much, Deputy Executive Mayor. And I must say to you that this was a very good session, but also because during the CBP, we had to come in and intervene, and we spoke to these communities. They had a very hostile CBP, but we came in, we had to intervene. You can ask the councillors, and I think that made it easier. Not everybody had a chance to speak, and not everybody had a chance to give their questions or deposit their questions. I would appreciate if we can fill in and give it to them, and also do the scanning so that we are able to put in that. I also want to acknowledge the Deputy Executive Mayor. I have received a complaint from Ward 30. I've taken their complaint. It came via Great World Kumalo, and I will attend to this issue in the office of the Speaker. I also want to once again acknowledge the Student Council. Colleagues, if we can listen, I'm going to talk to item 14, and we all know what is item 14. We are going to close these doors, and only the Deputy Executive Mayor and those sitting here will move through these doors. Community, you are going to go through the other door where you are going to get your food pack. So going through, there's enough food for everybody. You are going to get your food pack over there, and then you are going to leave. But I want to thank you all for the session. It's our first session physically, and it was the best so far. So I'm hoping that other areas, physical, will be exactly as good as this. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Region D2. You've been good.